So those particular black women who, and it really is all black female who talk a bunch of crap. It's just all black females. And I pick up on the energy, and they're single. And it's always the ones who are single who think they know the most about relationships. They know the most about men. I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. But you can't attract a man. You too goddamn yang. What motherfucker? I'm the man around this motherfucker. You yang. You pissed off. You lonely. You horny. So it go in one ear, out the other. I laugh. You ain't in control of your life, but yet see you trying to give me advice. You're arrogant. Nah, baby, it's more like self-confident. I am very self-confident because I have accomplishments and I know my skills, I know my abilities. I'm living out my natal chart. So I'm just in tune with that. I'm not afraid to speak it. So to you, because you're not doing what I'm doing, you're not living your natal chart. You don't know your natal chart. You don't know your skills, right? So you're lost. The ancients said, man, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. You don't know yourself. You see, so, your life ain't the way you desire it to be. So you have all the time in the world to point the finger at me and other people. That's real. You got all the time in the world. Let me tell you something, people. I used to be on that side. I used to hate certain celebrities, and I don't like Brandy and this person, that motherfucker, this and that and everything. And when I started doing my life purpose and I started becoming great on my own terms, in my own way, I started attracting these people, So I would sit up and I'm talking to Michael D. Lorenzo, and I'm talking to Brandy, I'm talking to Shamal Moore, I'm talking to Stevie Wonder. All these people are there and we're talking health and everything. And I'm like, wow, I used to didn't like this individual here. I never knew him. And everything. And I see that they just like me. Same problem, same issues. It's just that their occupation allows them to be out there and people look at them and, because they shine, right? That's the occupation, to shine. But they're really real people. And I'm here with the real person. And everybody else is not here to, like me, to talk to them. So all they get is that illusion, whereby they do their occupation and in their occupation they shine. So people become groupies and jock like that. And for a lot of these celebs, they don't really like that because it's empty. You get them behind closed doors, and man, they want marriage, they want love, they want the peace. Because, they'll tell you that I'm a slave in my world, and I don't really have any say in these directors, these producers, and these companies. They won't finance independent films. And they're like regular people, man. They go through stuff. And the people who jock them don't know that. Because you're not into them for the real them. You caught up on that illusion. The show he's on, the show she's on, what have you. It's all an illusion. So once I got to know these people, we just cannot have so many celebrity friends. It's because we connect on a certain level. And they don't say, he's arrogant. I don't look at them and say, he's arrogant. I understand people. So I'm like, greatness recognizes greatness. And people who ain't great, and everybody has the potential to be great. But people who are not great, they got all the time in the world to point the finger at those who have worked on themselves and have become great in a particular area or particular areas, plural. And that's what really goes on. When you're doing you have no time to look at other people's so-called defects, flaws. You really don't, because you're doing you. But I've learned there's a lot of people who ain't doing them. They got a lot of time on their hands to hate. To really hate. And I've learned that that's what they're supposed to be doing, because haters represent a censor. They let you know you're doing you. And if you're smart and you know how to work the laws of energy, you ain't got no problem with the haters, because see, your thoughts are on you, their thoughts are on you, so all thoughts are on you. It's like Tupac, all eyes on me. It's like all eyes on you. See, because they take their energy and they direct it in your direction. And if you know how to work the energy, right, the laws of alchemy, and you know how to program a bubble, a force field, that when all negative thoughts hit it, it automatically transmutes or converts into positive energy, then it can come to you. So I'll be welcoming the negative energy because I have a force field in the universe that your negative thoughts hit that force field, converts into positive energy, and comes into my life, into my experience, and I get greater. I do greater works. And so the hater be like, God damn, I mean, this dude just keep, I don't understand. It's just, no matter what I try to do, and just, this person's life just always, they just growing. What is it? And it's the laws of energy. You know, I mean, because see, knowledge really does reign supreme, especially when you apply it. And that's the whole key. So while cats out there hating, I'm going to keep working on myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep allowing the information to come to the seventh chakra, you know. And then as time, periodically, I'll pick up some angel cards or the books or what have you. But in most cases, let me work with a crystal and let me get my information about where the elementals. And I just keep advancing. You know. And so that, and you know, that works males and females. You know what I'm saying? I got some cats out there, same way, you know, bitch made dudes and everything, you know. I was listening to my man Gump. Gump had the cell phone on, and it was this particular cat, you know, and I'm already knowing this dude was ill feelings, and, you know, I probably should have 86'd him and let it stay 86, but, you know, having that moon and Sagittarius also that big heart, left the dude back on the scene, and his heart really ain't changed, you know what I'm saying? And he really exposed himself. I made a comment on Facebook about going to the hood, and he resented that. You know, it's like Dr. Khalil Abdul Muhammad said, you know, usually when you throw a rock at a pack of dogs, the one that barks the loudest is the one that got hit, generally, you know. And I made a comment about the hood, and this dude loked up, man, when you can talk about the hood, man, like you all that, and you this and that and everything, you know. And I'm like, wow, dude, I'm from the hood, and it's like, I know the experience of the hood and everything. So just because I say that the hood is in bad shape, and when I'm in the hood, it makes me think about doing more for the hood. Why would you react so adversely to that? Like I was putting the hood down. You know what I'm saying? All I said was, when I'm in the hood, it really makes me think harder about helping more. Because I don't like what I see when I go to the hood. And this dude, well, Djehuty, he's on a high horse, arrogant motherfucker, ego and everything, you know. And it's like when you analyze, it's like, you know what? The dude is upset, angry. And there's a lot of people, just black people, just mad at the world, mad at white folks, mad at successful black people, just mad. And they really desire to be great. They desire to do good things, but they're blocked because their focus is all messed up. Their focus is just in the wrong direction. And so I don't, you know, I couldn't trip. I'm like, wow, this dude here, I mean, this is an ungrateful person, you know, because like, okay, you doing your Ticketmaster thing and doing traffic, and it's like, that's my stuff. I sold you everything you doing with your Ticketmaster stuff. I sold it to you. That's my stuff. And there are people on the scene who were like, oh, that's the Djehuty stuff there. You know, so it's like, where's your gratitude at? You know what I'm saying? Because the things you're doing in life, you got your star from me. I don't have to sell it to you, you know? And it's like you forget that, you know? So last week, I come into the office and he's on the phone. I don't call that nigga Djehuty for shit, you know? I don't call the nigga for shit. You know, and this motherfucker, you know, he trying to do something. Like, I'm doing my Ticketmaster traffic thing, and this nigga got up on the D Health Store site. Like, I don't understand that. Like, he trying to come up, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, listen. You know, because he ain't knowing that, you know, Gump just happened to be on speakerphone. I'm listening. I'm like, wow. And I heard it with my own ears. And I said, what a bitch made nigga. The typical nigga, you know, mad at me because of a program I created. I created a traffic ticket program. I did the research. I'm the one hung out in the library. I'm the one who paid the dues. I can't sell my own program on my site simply because I tell you that I don't have the interest in it that I used to. And it's great that somebody else could take the lead. Just because I say someone take the lead, that means that I'm never ever going to do a traffic ticket package again. I don't have the freedom to come back when I want to. I can't be like Michael Jordan and retire and then come back when I want to? Because you afraid of competition? Nigga, it don't work like that with me. I don't like busted niggas like that. And so I'm like, clip, like it's like permanent. You bitch made to me, and you just like a lot of cats that I've 86 in 2011, you fear competition. Now, I'm not winning the competition, but competition can be healthy. And I got a lot of cats out there who just so intimidated because they don't have it up here. You see, I don't need you. You need me. See, I got the results of my knowledge. See, I come back on a traffic ticket scene, there's no competition. Okay? You see the nigga arrogant, motherfucker. No, I know my gifts. When I speak, it's natural that I'm going to inspire, I'm going to motivate. I speak with passion about any subject that is dear to me, so you would not be able to hold an audience like me. Because I've seen your presentation. See? And I'm a mover. I am a natural orator. I'm Taurus. I'm go up in here. So if I was come on the scene and do some traffic type stuff, then you forget that the subject matter was traffic. Because you be empowered. That's just the type of cat I am. And I recognize that power. So if I got to be egotistical, arrogant, so be it. You call it that. I call it self-confidence. Because I'm the one who got the results in traffic. You got your results in traffic from what came from here. My research, my works. I'm the one who went to court with you. I'm the one who helped bail you out of jail when you got arrested. Trying to do the sovereignty type thing. Don't ever forget where you come from. So cats want to talk about humility. You be about it before you expect it in others. See, and that's real talk for your monkey ass. And you know who you are, straight up. You see, we got to keep stuff real here. This ain't no Hollywood type of stuff we hide behind YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. We keep it real. So humility, it starts in the home first. It starts with self first. And there's certain cats out there who really need to be humble and recognize that, you know what? I got my start from Djehuty, free of charge. I didn't have money. And the cat let me come on the scene for free. The cat let me do this for free. Right up in here, from the heart. You got a desire to learn. You don't have no money. That's your compensation. That's your, what you call it, admission. Your admission is you got the desire. Just like Bruce Lee. If you had the desire to learn, Bruce waived his prices. Bruce Lee used to charge $175, $220 a session. But if you had it in here, Bruce waived the fee. And that's how I was. And Bruce Lee went through the same thing with Steve McQueen and certain people. Just hating. Just hating. And Bruce Lee just focused on himself, worked the mental science, and blew up. Bruce Lee said, he told Steve McQueen, one day I'm going to be a bigger star than you. And Steve McQueen just laughed at Bruce Lee. And within 1 year, I remember Bruce Lee said he picked up the phone. It was the middle of the night because he was in Asia. It was a time difference. And he got Steve McQueen on the phone. And Bruce just said, it just felt so damn good. And I have a lot of Bruce Lee books written by a lot of people. And you hear a lot of casual, Bruce became arrogant. Bruce became real eager. So his head was like, and I'm like, no, Bruce was just self-confident. I mean, Bruce Lee could kick your ass. He knew it. So he was self-confident, man. I have a book, and it was saying the same thing about Muhammad Ali. I have a book on Muhammad Ali. And it was certain people talking about how Muhammad Ali was arrogant. He was egotistical, what have you. And I'm reading this stuff like, you know what? It's just greatness, man. Certain people just not great. And because they will not work on themselves to be great, they're just jealous and envious. And I'm like, Muhammad Ali, I mean, this dude was so charismatic, so magnetic, so great. I mean, this dude, he was working mental science, man. He was programming himself. I'm going to knock this cat on the third round. He said it so much, he would get that result. And Ali said, people say, I'm not humble. And Muhammad Ali said, I'm humble only behind closed doors. Because in this society, when you're nice and you're humble, outside of, behind, when you get from behind closed door, people take your kindness for weakness. And I mean, Muhammad Ali ain't never lied, So when I hear people talk about Osho and Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, and then you have certain people saying that about myself, it's like, okay, I understand now. I really understand. And these people are supposed to be doing what they're doing. It makes all the sense. And so I just stay focused on Bruce Lee. I stay focused on Muhammad Ali, And we're all different. He was a boxer. He was a martial artist. And Osho was a spiritual guru. I'm a herbalist. And people are just great in their fields. And I just focus on my greatness and just know that people, gonna always say something. It'll never change. No matter what you do, you can never please everybody. There's a maxim that says, whenever you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. So just please yourself. Just do you. So it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. Because, see, other people, words about you, thoughts about you, beliefs and opinions about you is really none of your business. And there's another maxim that I love to use that goes, other people's perception of me is not my reality. Your perception of me is not my reality. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And I can sit back and say, you know what? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And they're usually full of shit. I'm cool. No big deal. None whatsoever. You know, so you have bitch-made cats out there who, you know, I mean, they just the personification of bitch-made-ism. And if you hang around these people, they will pull you down. You know, they really will pull you down because they don't mean you any good. They just leeches. It's what they can get. It's what they can get. They can't use their own mind to build themselves up and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's really amazing because it's so simple. Stop hating and work on yourself, and then you become great. And then you attract help when you don't even need it. It's like when you come into money, banks will reach out to you and say, hey, we want to loan you $200,000. We want to loan you $400,000. You don't even need the money. And when you need the money, then it's like, sorry, no, what have you. It's just doors, blocks. It's a crazy, weird dynamic. And it happens all the time. Now, Djehuty, goddamn, you've been here, there. Man, the title is Random Talk on Black Women. And you're saying some good stuff, man. But, you know, what? Hey, yo, we're looking because we want to hear this talk here. You know, this is black men talking, right? Honesty is the best policy in most circumstances. Most circumstances, not all. What do you mean? You know, you're supposed to be honest all the time. No, the hell you not. Not in the Matrix. Be honest in a courtroom. Get a traffic ticket and be honest. I was going 65 miles per hour. All right, then. We find you guilty. Pay the fine, $400. Man, they ain't got that money, man. They robbing me. Shut up and pay the goddamn fine, dummy. Because you was all about that honesty. Honesty has no place in an American courtroom, especially when you're the defendant in what we call a Admiralty Maritime colorable jurisdiction. Honesty. No, it's a game. It's a game. And it's a certain game that you got to know how to play. And there's a time and place for you to not be truthful or to lie. And a courtroom and a traffic case is the best goddamn place because it's a goddamn fraud. You really didn't create a crime. All right, so it's a fraud. So why would you be truthful? Somebody's being fraudulent with you and you're going to be truthful with them. It's stupid. You're always going to walk out of that courtroom with a tab like, damn, man, I got to pay $1,200. I don't have this money here. Well, go talk to honesty. Go talk to the God of honesty. Because you don't know your department. You don't know your fears. You got to understand, in the Matrix, people, they are departments of life. And you can't walk in a courtroom, right? Like, you can walk into a courtroom and be spiritual, but you can't walk into a courtroom where you just stuck in spirituality. Okay, you got to know those legal rules and procedure. You got to use your spirituality to say, you know what? I'm going to use my spirituality to be bold and confident and not have any fear. I'm going to use my spirituality for that, right? But then I got to use this knowledge here, right? Predicated upon studying the vehicle code and the civil code or the, you know, penal code, whatever code is applicable. And I got to play this game here. Like, even if I was speeding, I got to play this game and say, you know, Your Honor, was a verified complaint filed, right? Yeah, I was speeding. I'm guilty, right? But I can't make it easy for you. You got to prove that I was guilty. That's the law. You know what I'm saying? If you charge me, you got to prove me guilty. That's your job as prosecutor. I'm not going to do your job for you, man. You already trying to get money out of me, so I'm going to give you the money and then make your job easier. I might as well get me some high heels to put a person on my shoulder and be a hole on the boulevard. I'm not going to make it easy for you. You got to find me guilty. Did you file a verified complaint? See, I'm going to ask some Q&A questions and everything. You got me for speed and things like that. Let me see your FCC license. You know, I need to check your radar. You got the radar here, officer? You got to work, man. You got to work. I'm going to make you work. I'm not going to go in there with all this. I'm not going to let religion and spirituality mess my mind up and go in there, Your Honor, I was speeding. Yeah, I'm guilty. Okay, the court accepts your plea and everything. Guilty, go see the clerk. I'm not about to do that. Even if I was speeding or any of these other pseudo crimes in the traffic code, I'm not about to be honest with you. I'm going to play your game because I know who and what I'm dealing with. Now, when I'm dealing with spiritual matters and stuff like that, I'm coming straight. But I ain't coming straight with the corporations, the government. No, because I know the way your system is set up is not set up for me to benefit. It's set up for you to benefit from me losing, me parting from something so you can gain. I'm not playing your game. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said that, honestly, the best policy in certain circumstances, because in the Matrix, there is a thing called diplomacy. And if anybody got a problem with this, just check their life. I know many spiritual people, right? They're healers, massage therapists. And man, you look around and you see how the government is like just putting fire to their rear end. They can't pay their state taxes. They can't pay certain licenses. They're struggling. They're not making any money. What little money they're making, the government is taking from it. And you just sit back and be like, wow. You talking all this good talk about, you know, the elementals and the angels and the guardian angels and the spirit guides. Like, have you ever not thought to ask them to help you in the Matrix? I don't understand how people are in the Matrix, man, and they give the Matrix so much power. Like, have you ever not thought about asking for help from the cosmic realm? You don't think that there are cosmic entities that can help you out against the IRS? You don't think that there are cosmic entities that can help you out against the state government? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you're doing this spiritual work here, and it's like you're catching hell. And you know that your guardian angels can help you in any aspect of life, that this matrix is really an illusion and the spiritual world is the real reality. Like, you teach that, but you don't live it. I mean, it'd be some serious blocks, man. I mean, you got light workers who are 400 pounds. And like Doreen Virtue explains, they're eating chocolate, eating meat, eating crazy to gain weight, to ground themselves. Like, you can't tap into the knowledge that you don't have to harm yourself in order to ground yourself, in order to do this work. You don't have to harm yourself to do your work. You don't have to eat bad food to gain weight, to ground yourself, because you're dealing with all this negative energy on your clients. Like, you don't know that you could like wear black and wear black tourmaline to push the energy away and do all type of rituals and like that's conducive, man. You don't have to harm yourself. I mean, it's just a trip. You know, I just see things differently. I mean, as much as I love Osho, and I'm like, man, Osho, you was a deep cat, but you never tried to learn American law. And with all your knowledge, man, I mean, you let the American government just dog you out, man. Like, you learned so much, but you didn't learn American law, you know. And I'm just grateful to be on the scene, to study Malcolm, to study Malcolm X, to study Malcolm X, to study Dr. King, to study Osho, to study Bruce Lee, to study Muhammad Ali. I study so many great people, and I study their defects, where they went wrong. You know, I study, you know, I know, you know, Bruce Lee was consuming synthetic vitamins and, just drinking 20 sakes, you know, just certain things, you know. He was doing the hashish, you know, inhaling. And I'm like, wow. And it was all to cope. As great as the man was, you know, drinking beef juice. Bruce Lee was like electrocuting himself. He would be typing and he'd have on this gadget that was shocking him, you know, so his muscles could bulk up and things. And it was a form of like self-torture, you know. And, you know, I studied Muhammad Ali. I studied boxers, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. And it's like, they didn't know when to get out the game, you know. They didn't know when to walk away. And so they're punch drunk now, especially Tommy Hearns, Muhammad Ali. Not so much Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, but still the damage to the eye, the retina. And I just look at you like, wow. You know, I study, you know, like Malcolm X. And it's just like, man, I study these people and like, okay, they went wrong. They were great, but they went wrong in this direction here. So let me study that, you know. Like Osho didn't learn law. Osho learned a lot of stuff. He didn't learn law, federal law, state law, and they used it against him to get him out of this country. He was just too much of a threat. And bogus charges. He didn't learn it for himself. And even though he had attorneys, they were linear. They came from the school of thought predicated upon the bar. Like the law I do, it's free will, it's open. You know, and that's what makes me dangerous, because lawyers in the system, they have to do they have to practice like they're linear. They're an attorney in family law. They only practice family law or civil law or criminal law or commercial law or corporate law. And when you're a jurisprudence, you study all law. So no matter what the case is, you ain't got to look for a family lawyer or a criminal lawyer. Law is law. You know, procedure rules law. And you can go by all the code books and learn the procedures and just do it yourself. And it's a hell of a feeling, man. You know, it's, you know, if you deal with an unlawful detainer case, man, you got the knowledge, the civil code. You just pick up the civil code and go to the right chapter section. And your remedy and recourse is always in the book that you're being charged out of. I had an apartment. As a matter of fact, it was 204 East Lomita. And the owner of the building thought that I was practicing massage, because in California, you have to have a license for massage. This dude saw a massage table that I was using to do ear coning on. I wasn't doing massage. I was doing ear coning and chakra balancing on it. So he comes there one day, the door's open. He sees some people in the apartment, and he sees a table. This dude, what did he said something to the fact that, hey, you have a license for that? You have a license to practice massage? And I'm like, what makes you think I'm doing massage? You know, oh, you see a massage table, so now this place is a massage parlor. So I'm like, damn, so if I had 4 plates set at the table, and you saw 4 plates at the table, now operating a restaurant, because you see plates. So you see a massage table and you think massage parlor. It's like, dude, like you should ask, man, before you really just start assuming. Because no, G, I don't do massage, right? There's some months passed and there was somebody waiting in the back of the apartment complex. And the owner went there and inquired, like, what are you doing here? It's like, I'm waiting. There's somebody up there in a consultation. Dude comes back and says, he said something about, well, you got, I think my lease was up in 2 months, but I think he said something that you're going to have to move out. You're going to have to move out, you know, in 30 days or something like that, because you told me you wasn't practicing massage or something like that. Because if you were, you was going to have insurance. He was going to require me to have insurance, right? And he was like, you told me you wasn't, and now I talked to somebody, and you have somebody up here doing a consultation. And I said, enough is enough. I got the California business and profession codes out there, went through it, made sure everything I was doing was not in the code. If it ain't in the code, it don't apply to you. And I typed up this awesome dynamite letter. This was right before I was going to Atlanta in 2006. I said, sir, if you come over here one more time and threaten me, accusing me of practicing something that is not defined in the California Business and Profession Code, I'm going to sue your ass in California Superior Court in the city of Glendale. And I will not be moving out of here until my lease is up. This is your last warning. This is your only warning. This is your last and only warning. I put it in the back slot because we used to pay the rent in the laundry room. So I put it in the slot. He got it. And I knew he got it, you know, because he would look at it. Because before he would kind of like speak to me and things. But he got that letter that was 11 pages. All law. And he would look at me and he just put his head down. He'd be working on the lawn, doing whatever he's doing. Cat did not speak to me. Never had a problem from that cat ever again. Why? Because I had the knowledge. I said, dude, what I do in here is my business, right? Now, I understand as an owner, if I'm having clients over here and they get hurt, you're responsible. I understand that, but also understand law. If it ain't defined, if it ain't codified, it's not applicable. Okay, because Gould versus Gould, which the United States Supreme Court case says that a statute cannot be enlarged to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. So if it ain't in the statute, baby, it don't apply. So find me a statute where it's applicable, okay? Because I can't find ear coning in there. I can't find chakra balancing in there. So, dude, it's like these positions are not regulated by the state of California. It doesn't apply to me. I don't have to have insurance for that. And it just nipped it in the bud, just from a letter. I didn't need an attorney, what have you. Boom, because I learned unlawful detainer law years ago. And I started helping clients who were being evicted. You know, it's like my very dear friend, man, was facing an unlawful detainer case, eviction. It wasn't looking good. And it's like, wow, man, you guys just didn't pay us behind the time. And these were my people, man. It's my brother and my sister. And I had to do a Hail Mary. I had to do a Hail Mary, and I'm good here. You know what I'm saying? And, that Scorpio side of me, Scorpio ascendant, and I know how to use it to do things for a benefit. And I worked some magic. And my people went to, and I knew all the chips were stacked against them. I knew it, like, y'all didn't pay, it's behind the time. These people, the owners didn't accept the money. And I knew I had to go deep. And I knew I had to come up with some stuff to save them because they would have been out. It's a cold game in the matrix, man. I mean, business is business. These people want their money. Utilities companies want their money. I mean, the matrix is cold. And that's why I'm doing my best to really promote doing business with a heart. And there are people who are trying to get over on you. There are people who are irresponsible. And I know that. And I think that, people need to be dealt with predicated upon the individual personal circumstances. But what happens is there's so many shystering people out there that people just get tired and they just say, you know what, I can't take a chance on nobody because this person tried to rob me, this person tried to get over. And I understand why a certain aspect of the matrix is the way it is. I understand why business owners are harsh and don't have a heart because they wasn't always like that. They tried to help and be nice, and certain people would just take you to the bank, take you to the cleaners. So to protect, themselves, they just, it's like, I don't take credit. Credit was killed by the last person who didn't pay. So I understand that mentality. So with my friends, I had to work some magic, and they went to court, and a miracle did occur. I mean, I've worked some wonders in law. I really worked. I never won every case. Don't get me wrong. I've lost cases, but I won those cases because I was able to extract, defenses. I was able to extract knowledge out of the cases whereby I lost. And cases that I lost, it didn't mean that my argument wasn't strong. Some cases my arguments wasn't strong. Most cases my argument was strong. It's just the judge knew where I was trying to come from. And like, look, we're not going to let you do this. Because I'm using case law that's on the books. And the judge just had the power to say, I disagree. And that's when I learned, like, wow, this ain't about law. This is about a cat who's in a position that he was put in or she was put in. And they can just rule however they want to rule. Because it's really not serious. It's not real law. It's a power thing. You know what I'm saying? It's an unskillful ego thing, you see. And I learned that, you know what I'm saying? So I really never lost a case because I always came back stronger. Even if it wasn't for myself, it was for somebody else. I learned something in my case that I could apply for other people, and I just got strong. And I was working wonders with unlawful detainers. I could do the unlawful detainer to get people out of your place, but I could also do it to defend people and to get them in their places. And most people didn't have the money. They got it. And the owner wanted them out. And I understood the politics of it, but it's like, damn, they got a family, man. It's like they didn't have the money. I know it's an agreement to pay about a third, what have you, 3-day pay or quit. I understand all that, but coming from here, it's like, okay, people make mistakes. I mean, things happen. They didn't have the money. They have it now, okay? I understand you want them out, but they got 3 children, man. They work. I mean, this is human life here. It's a juggling act in the matrix. It's a juggling act, and you have to discern. Like, I'm going to help people that I know have good hearts, good intentions, what have you. Because I know there's a lot of shyster type people out there who will play on your kindness. I know that. But instead of just close my heart to everybody, I keep it open and I discern. Like, okay, I can help you. I can't help you. I can help you. I can't help you. I'm discerning. I got to take each case individually. Some people like, to hell with that. I don't trust no goddamn body. If you don't pay about a third, goddamn it, I'm about to do this unlawful detainer, and that's just how it go. It's some cold people in the world, and it's a lot of spiritually uncultivated people in the world, and that's why our world is, the way it is, But I worked some magic on these people, and they was able to stay in their place, and it was just a great feeling, man. It was just really a great feeling to work that magic. Like, damn, I learned how to do evictions, I learned so much in law. Federal law, I learned how to do Title 42s. I learned how to do Bivens suits. I learned how to do RICO suits. I mean, I learned some dynamite stuff, man. I learned how to sue state and federal agents. I learned how to tie up court systems, and I learned how to keep appeals going. I learned some stuff. I have the Sagittarius in my chart. I know I have the Scorpio. I have the Mars. I have a lot of placements that are just conducive to law. And when I did hypnotherapy, I went back to some past lifetimes, and I was in a log cabin during the American Revolution. I had all these books here. I'm like, wow, okay. So what I have here has followed in the subsequent past lives. Like, this is new. The books and all this. This is not the first time I've had that. It goes back to past lifetimes, and I've seen it. So it's like, it's really amazing how life, plays out. You know. But because we're dealing with this issue here, and we're talking about black females. I've seen in a lot of my, and I do apologize if, like, Djehuty, you was going somewhere and you didn't. It's because my mind moves so fast. My mind is there, and my mouth has to catch up with it. So I do apologize if Djehuty was going somewhere and I really want to hear what have you. I apologize because it's just so much, and I'm just expressing. It's just so much to talk about. But I've realized lately, by studying my friends' relationships with their women, it's the same old, same old. It's the money situation. I mean, for me, the money follows because I do my heart, and so it follows. But I see with a lot of my friends who are African American and in relationship with African American women, it usually boils down to money. I'm going to tell you why money is beneficial in the matrix. Money is a band-aid. The Bible says that both money and wisdom are a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is wisdom preserves the life of him that have it. And that's in the book of Ecclesiastes. And that's a proverb that I've recorded here. I mean, it's true. Money is a security and wisdom is a security. Or money is a defense and wisdom is a defense. They're both a defense. But if you had to choose one over the other, wisdom will be the one that you would choose, because only wisdom can preserve the life of him or her that has it. Not money. Money can't preserve your life. Wisdom, because that's why they say a fool and his money shall soon part. So if you got money, you ain't wise. You would lose that money, or you would use that money to hurt yourself. So I made up my mind. I said, you know what? I'm going to have the money and the wisdom. But I'm going to get the wisdom first, because the wisdom is the true wealth. So that's why in my life, the money just flows because of the wisdom. That's the true wealth. It's in here. So that's why I don't smoke marijuana. I've never smoked marijuana. I've never, drank alcohol. Well, I don't know if I could say never, because when I was a little boy, I would taste the liquor of my parents. But, I never consciously had a glass and drank and things like that. So when I was a little boy, I would go in the refrigerator and taste their TJ Swan and E&J. And some of y'all laughing because y'all hear TJ Swan, y'all hear Night Train. Y'all know those are cheap liquors, real sweet that poor black folks used to drink. And I would taste it and it's sweet. But anyway, as I mature, it's like I never smoked cigarettes, smoked marijuana, drank alcohol. I just didn't do things. I never did like cocaine, and it was something about me. I was always afraid to mess my mind up. As a little boy, I always knew it was something about this mind here. This mind was a genie, and I had to protect it. So I never did things to impair my mind, because I knew my mind was the genie. It was going to fulfill all fantasy. It was going to make things come true. Even in a what you would call like a Hollywood sense, even as a little boy, it's like I always knew. It's like I was unconscious, right? I was unconscious, but I still knew. Like, I used to sit on the porch and think about real hard, if I had some money, how I would catch the bus, go to the Hawthorne Mall, and watch Halloween 2 or Friday the 13th, And I used to just sit on the porch like I was like meditating, working mental science. And my mother would pull up in the car. And my mother was just awesome. Big-hearted woman, man. And before she would go in the door, she would reach in her purse and just give me $5 or $10. My mother was so cool like that. And I'd be like, wow, it's like she knew I wanted to go to the movies. And I'm like, wow, I've been here on the porch for 30 minutes just fantasizing, dreaming about going to the movies to watch this movie. And it's like my mother could read my mind, or I attracted my mother to give me the money, right? I attracted her giving me money so I can catch the bus, buy admission, get some popcorn and soda and nachos, watch the movie, and have a good time, because that's what I wanted to do. And it always worked like that. So even as a little boy, that magic was there, and I was unconscious of it, but I was working it. So it's like I always knew the power of my mind. And then once I became conscious of it, it was, it was a wrap. But getting back to this whole money and wisdom thing here, on a lower level, money will help you. Because I look at all the things that the black women are bitching about. Money is a band-aid. Not a solution, but a band-aid. Because, these women complain that they're tired, taking care of children, cleaning the house, their body hurt. And when you hear that, like when I hear that, I'm like, okay, we got a problem. A problem is nothing but a mathematical question that requires an answer. Her body hurts. She's tired. She needs help. Okay, I got it. Okay. With money, because ain't nothing I can say to her. Baby, you got to hold on. And women be like, look, F that shit. I'm tired. That's great. You got your vision and all this. But because women live in the moment, really. Women really live in the moment. And men are more, long term. And so women just, my back hurt right now. You talking 2 years. Shit, I'm tired right now. So if you're in that relationship, that type of relationship, and you're trying to go somewhere in life, it really will help if you have some money. Because then you can say, okay, listen, you're going to start getting massage twice a week. That's going to help your body. And massage will help you, ladies. Really, a lot of women out there, you really need the massage because your body is just hurt. It's pained. You're lifting and carrying, holding babies on your hip. It's rough for women, especially black women. And it's not that y'all victims, because y'all do play a role in that, because a lot of y'all laid down with no good cats, let them juice y'all up, and now y'all got babies, and he ain't on the scene to help out. So, you played a role because, hey, he had a big dick, he could fuck you good, and you was like, yeah, he fucking me good, and you made a contract with this dude for that. You sold out for that. And you ended up getting pregnant, kept the child, and deep down inside, he really wasn't worthy of you, but he was knocking it. And you was cool with that. And he juiced you up. You got a child, 2 or 3. He ain't on the scene. No child support. So that plays a role in why your life is hard. And you can't fault nobody but yourself. Because you knew you could have said, you know what? You ain't daddy material. You not. You knew old boy was just a good fuck. And you knew that. And he let you do what you wanted to do. He wasn't a real man, so he let you drink alcohol, smoke weed, do dope. But he just let you do it because he didn't give a shit as long as he was getting his penis slurped and plugging you. So both of y'all understood the dynamic. And, a child or 2 or 3 came out of that. Maybe from this dude or some other dude who just like him. And then you learned your lesson. You know what I'm saying? I look at a lot of women, and I'd be like, wow, I used to like them thug niggas, huh? You used to like them baller type dudes, And there's a lot of dudes, man, we should sit back and be like, that dude is no good for you. I'm good for you, but that was just a dynamic. They just didn't like good dudes, man. We were alpha males. The no good dudes were alpha males. They may have been stupid, dumb, drug dealers, but they was alpha males. And deep down inside, women are attracted to that. And that's why you be like, I'm in college, I got a degree, I got a great job, and I'm great for her. I love her. I would take care of her. This dude beats her, this dude cheats on her, and she's still giving the coochie to this dude. And we be going crazy, like, I'm crazy about you. I would clean your vomit, I would wipe your ass if you're sick. It's like that song by Bryan Adams, everything I do for you. There are men out there who are the personification of that. And we go without and we watch these beautiful women with no good dude. It be messing dudes up. We be like, what? He's no good. Look at you. And, a lot of times dudes don't be recognizing that this woman has low self-esteem. She's beautiful and she has low self-esteem and she got certain things going on which allows her to attract no good type of dude. And she would rather be with that type of dude than you. There's a lot of dynamic that dudes be missing. You see, a lot of women be like, you know what, that's an ideal dude, but I'm not ready for him now. I want to have my fun. I don't want to be serious. I want to be wild and crazy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes don't recognize that dynamic, that these women got to get their experiences. Number 2, a lot of dudes limit themselves. They become linear, right? And they just, like a good dude, they ain't got no swag. they ain't got no game. There's no gift of gab. When I say game, not game to mess you over, but game to stimulate. You know what I'm saying? They just lack because they're linear. And women will tell you. It's just like my wife. She said, what I like about you is that you street and then you corporate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You know what I'm saying? You got this red side, then you got this blue side here. And so it's you get to go between both. You get to experience both extremes. Whereas, like my wife, she don't like just linear type good dudes. She don't like linear, type of corporate dude. You can't be linear street. You can't be linear corporate. You got to, a combination of things. And a lot of women, that's how they feel, It's always an exception to the rule, but most women, you got to be able to be fluid. There's time they want classical music and they want to go out into town and you're the gentleman, And then they want to shape shift and they kind of want some, they want some roughness and things like that and everything. When you're playing with them and, you ain't hard on them, but you got them by the neck and stuff like that, and spank them on the ass and stuff like that. They get hot. And they like for you to be able to shift it and play with them like that. You know what I'm saying? And then behind closed doors, you just ain't a linear type of cat where all you know is the missionary position. All you know is to be on top and just stroke. That, they don't like all that. You fluid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, now get in this position here. All right, turn over. And, you got to be fluid, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best because I hear you guys' responses and things because y'all know me. I just put it all out there. It's just real because that's what really goes on. I ain't got no time to be faking the funk, man. Freedom. Freedom. And I can be free like this because I worked on the discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's certain women out there and they say, you know what, Djehuty, it seems like you against women, being free. And then there are other people out there that sound like you have a problem with people in general just being free. And I'm like, no, it's not that. You know what it is? I have a problem with anybody who wants to be free and they have not worked on discipline. Because I know that discipline comes before freedom. If you want to just be out there and wild out and free, and I know a lot of people who wild out and just did freedom, they hurt themselves. I'm free, give me a drink, smoke weed, dope, and everything, and just passed out. And the dude dragged their ass in the room and fucked the shit out of them. Okay, and dudes ran a train up in them and dudes woke up and their wallet was empty and stuff, because freedom, but no goddamn discipline. You see what I'm saying? And then a lot of people want to be free, but they got to be out of their mind. They got to escape out of here. They got to be out of their mind, A lot of women like, yeah, I can have an orgasm when a dude just let me flow and there's no restrictions and I can smoke weed and alcohol and then I'm free and I have orgasms. But they can't orgasm with dudes that require discipline and spirituality and things like that. And these are just from the women that I've dealt with in the past. They're friends, women on the phone do consultation. It never failed. I'm like, how come you can't have an orgasm with your man or your husband, but you can have an orgasm with these thug dudes? It was always the same response. The dudes just let them flow. They was free. And it's just no worries in the world. And they opened up and whoosh, they was able to squirt. They was able to have that orgasm. And it was with no good dudes. And then with dudes who was just ideal, they couldn't do it. And it's because they felt the dude was controlling them and things like that. And as I studied the situation, I'm like, no, dude is on point there. Like, this dude is talking discipline. Because you're not going to really ever evolve into true spirituality without discipline. Like when you fast, that's discipline. When you go without water, when you go without food, when you can go do celibacy, that's fasting. And, that's discipline. It teaches discipline. When you can not spend money, when you want to spend money. So when you develop that will, that's powerful. So, if you can't have an orgasm because of discipline, then you need to really check yourself. Because if you have an orgasm from degenerate dudes, what does that say about you? You see what I'm saying? You mean to tell me that you can't be disciplined and control your mind and to still just phase out and not have a worry or concern in the world? Why is that? You know what I'm saying? You can't have an orgasm without drinking wine. You can't have an orgasm without smoking marijuana. I mean, you really need to think about that. And if that's the case, did you really have an orgasm? Because, opiates cloud judgment, desensitizes you. You're not 100% aware are there. You may tap into different portals and things like that, but do you like really feel? And from my consultation, I'm like, these women really, like, they had a form of like orgasm, but it wasn't real. It wasn't holistic because it became a big thing. Like, a dude need to make me have an orgasm. And I'm like, well, you know, orgasm really results from yourself. You should never give another person that much power. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, I gotta have that. He gotta give this to me. Like, again, you're going like outside of self, you know, and you gotta do this ritual. You gotta smoke the weed, or you gotta drink the alcohol and just lose it to tap into different portals. What does that say about yourself? You're out of control. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're experiencing orgasm like that, is it really a true orgasm when you're not aware? It's like a woman. Did you really experience childbirth? I mean, seriously, did you really experience childbirth when you got the epidural shot and all these drugs? Like, I know you feel the pain, the baby coming out, but did you really feel, in the feeling sense of feel, did you really feel it being drugged? You see what I'm saying? So did you really feel that orgasm being high on weed or drunk on alcohol? Did you really feel it? So I'm like, you know, the ultimate one has to be the spiritual orgasm, because when you're spiritual, I mean, you remember, it's vivid, it's there, it's conducive, no part of the body is harmed, and you remember it. So when you get it, you ain't always got to have it again. Like, come on, we got to do it. I want to have another orgasm. Your life, you being orgasm. You know, I got to a point where I was balancing my chakras so much that I tapped into this dimension where I was just straight, you know, and I didn't need to have sexual intercourse, right? But when I would have sexual intercourse, it was so fulfilling. It's like with my wife, it's like I had sex for the very first time. It's like sexual intimacy for the very first time. And I look back in my past, you know, because I had a lot of sex, man. I mean, it's like I used to count. There was a time in my life I would count. And when I get to 500, I just forget it. I'm like, I done had sex 500 times. Boom. That was like my number. So, I mean, excessive intercourse, just out of my mind, excessive intercourse, hurting myself, depleting zinc reserve, everything. And I look back and I'm like, you know, spiritual sex is nourishing. And it's the equivalent of eating junk food. Like, junk food tastes good, but it has no nutrition. And because it has no nutrition, it robs you of what nutrients you already have in your body. So, you know, your body intelligence makes you eat in hopes that you're going to eat foods with nutrients to satisfy a void, you see. It's the same thing with sex. So I look back at my past, I'm like, you know, I always had to have sex. I mean, I always just had to be just having sex. And it was empty sex. And don't get me wrong, like, again, with the orgasm, like, I felt the pleasure. But because I wasn't aware, I didn't really feel. And that's why I had to do it so much. You get through, all right, I want to do it again. Come on, just get through, I want to do it again. And it's like, I look back on that like, wow, it was because I wasn't spiritually fulfilled. So when I worked on my spirituality, and my heart was just being, you know, from just working on myself and realizing ultimate truths and what the purpose of life was, and to cultivate spirit, you know, to work on the soul. And, you know, when I transitioned, the things that I could take were the things in my heart, just learning things of a spiritual nature. It changed my whole dynamic. So I was like, wow, I was really nutrient starved back then. You know, the sex, I was into the physical sex and the physical pleasure. I wasn't really getting like the spiritual pleasure and all the other type of realm, the pleasure from the different realms. And so that's why I always had to engage in sex. And a lot of us are like that. A lot of women are like that. They just sex. They're void. And so the sex is kind of like an opiate. It fills them up temporarily. But then I got into these crystals, man. And, you know, I was soaking in the tub with crystals. I would balance my chakra in the tub, right? I would balance my chakra in the bed. I would get on my massage table. I would balance my chakras in the bathtub. I wore crystals. I mean, it's like I became like this crystal freak, and I was just beaming. I was drinking love water, right? The pink crystals in the water, and I was just tranquilized, just calm. I got to the point where I worked on myself so much, I was like blissed out. Like I was just cool. And people was like, I don't get this cat here. But I can't really explain the feeling to you. It's like I was just full. I didn't need anything, materially speaking. You know, I was just the energy. It was energy that was feeding and fueling me. And so I had experienced something for the first time when I got with my wife, you know, my second wife, my present wife. I could remember the act. I really came in tune with my Taurian nature because I have Mars and Gemini, and Gemini is air sign, chatter. And I was a silent lover my whole life, silent. And I kind of started coming on my box with my first wife, but when I got with my present wife, because I'm like, this is the woman here that's my greatest lessons are learned with her. Right? We both Scorpio ascendant, our natal charts the same, are the same. It's like a psychic said, he said, if you get with this woman, you will never be able to leave her, break up with her. This is for life. I'm telling you. I'll never forget Ron, what's his name? Ron, not Kobe, but it was Ron. He does Vedic astrology. His first name is Ron. He was the first Indian astrologer I ever allowed to do my chart. And he told me, he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, if you get with this woman, that's it. It's to death do you part. You will not be able to leave this woman. You will not be able to get out of this union. You will not. And he stressed it. And I was like, wow, I said, you must don't know me. I do what the hell I want to do. And I'll never forget the look in his eyes, man. He's like, this is some past life stuff here. And if you go forward with this woman, you better be ready. You better be prepared to live out life and get your lessons with her because there's no escaping this, you know. But anyway, we're just so much, I mean, just so much alike. It's just a crazy dynamic. I mean, it really is. Even though our sun and moon is square, it's steam, it's passion. You know, sometimes it's exhausting, you know, but it's more steam than exhausting. It's more beneficial than detrimental. Okay, more salubrious than insalubrious. So with her, you know, it got to the point, and when we first got together, you know, we was like jackrabbits. It was just new. It was just this. I mean, man, it was, you know, just awesome. But I was still doing a chakra balancing, and so it got to the point, you know, it's like I could be intimate with her, and I'd be cool for a week or two, you know, and you know, for her it was like, and I'm like, no, you satisfy me, you satisfy me, but it's like I ate a meal, a raw foods meal. And I was conscious of the enzymes I was getting. I was conscious of the vitamins. I was conscious of the minerals. I was full. I was full. I mean, we did that act, and it's like the pleasure, it overlapped by days, and it carried me. And I had never experienced that before in my life. You know, it's like I remember when my son Johnny was conceived because that part of me that's intuitive, you know, there's just this thing about me where I'm on the money. And I remember when my eldest daughter was conceived, I remember the moment. I remember when my son Asim was conceived. You know, I'm a man, but I know when my children conceive, just like certain women out there know when they conceive. And I remember being with my wife, and we were intimate. And I remember when we got through with the act, you know, she was against the wall, and she looked at me, and she's like, I don't know if you felt it, but I felt this buzzing, like electrical sensation. And it just messed me up. I was like, oh, snap. Because I remember being in the act, I felt like this buzz, this, I mean, man, this feeling was, and it wasn't like the orgasm, because the orgasm comes afterward. This was in the middle of the stroking. And we both felt this spark, this like electrical, like feeling. And I mean, it was an awesome feeling. And I remember getting through, and she said, I don't know if you felt it, but I felt something in the act. It just messed me up because I was like, oh, snap, I felt it too. It was like this connection. It was just mind-boggling. And then we later realized that that was the day our son Johnny was conceived, you know. So just working on myself benefited me in the area of relationship. It benefited me in the area of sexuality. You know, I didn't have to do harm to her physically, because a dude can stroke so much, the walls get swollen, and I mean, cats can just really do some damage in an unconscious state. But being conscious, man, it changed the whole experience. I mean, it was mind-boggling, I mean, mind-boggling.